Hi, I'm Dave and welcome to day 4 of RPG a Day. Today's topic is, let's have a look, a most surprising game. Surprise! This one's really hard, I must admit. I saw the question and somebody else suggested it. And I thought, oh, that'll be an interesting one. And then when it came to actually answering it, I just looked at it and went, okay, what on earth do I come up with that one? Thankfully, I've got help today in the form of Becky Annison, who I saw at Dragon Meet last year. I went to a seminar she was co-hosting about thinking outside the box and really trying to do something a bit different, sort of the indie game revolution and that kind of thing. I went along to that one because I must admit I haven't really picked up very many indie games, and I'm still trying to get to the grips with the idea of getting my head out of the firmly formed mindset of how gaming was 30 years ago. So going along to this seminar, I was just sitting there going, oh my god, why did I not think of any of this? This is amazing. And it completely revolutionised the way I was thinking about my gaming and the way I was writing my games. So I just had to get these people involved. So Becky's going to talk about her most surprising game. Take it away.
Hi, I'm Becky Annison of Black Armada Games. Thank you very much to Dave Chapman for offering me the opportunity to participate in RPG a Day 2015. I'm doing day 4, my most surprising RPG, and the game that I have picked is Don't Rest Your Head by Fred Hicks of Evil Hat Productions. Now, the thing that is not surprising to me about this game is how much I love the genre. I call this the down the rabbit hole genre. So in Don't Rest Your Head, you are playing an insomniac, and you have been awake for so long that you have suddenly realised there is something very, very wrong with this world that we live in. Things that you don't normally get to see. Horrors and nightmares are bubbling up under the surface of the world, and they're coming for you. And the one thing you mustn't do anymore is fall asleep. I absolutely adore this genre. Some of my favourite books, Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman, the Nightside novels by Simon R. Green, they're all set in this genre. Also Dock City, which is a film I love, is in this genre. And so the genre is not a surprise to me. What is a surprise is how much I like the dice mechanic. So it is a long-running joke in my gaming group that Becky Annison does not like dice in her role-playing. It's true, it is completely true. The reason I don't really like dice in my role-playing is that I find the process of calculating a dice pool, adding in skills, looking up your stats, that entire process for me is really just a break in the narration, a break in the story, and importantly a massive break in my character immersion, and I like a lot of character immersion in my role-playing games. Don't Rest Your Head was a surprise because it is the first game I have played with a dice mechanic, a relatively complicated one. It's not exalted in terms of complication, but it's certainly not as simple as Apocalypse World. So it's the first game I played with a relatively complicated dice mechanic, which enhances rather than detracts from character immersion. So unusually for me, I'm actually going to talk very briefly about what the dice mechanic is. So the GM is rolling pain dice. You, the player, are rolling from a dice pool which you have some degree of control over how it's made up from discipline dice. I'm counting on my fingers, it's not good. Discipline dice, madness dice, and exhaustion dice. To succeed, you need to roll more 1 to 3s on your d6s than the GM rolls on theirs. But the highest die at the end of the roll brings additional consequences to your success. And if it's discipline is the highest, then you don't have any additional consequences, and that's fantastic. If it's pain, then something else goes wrong and causes pain. If it's exhaustion, you run the risk of falling asleep, and falling asleep is very bad. And if it's madness, then your character will suffer a temporary loss of control, which also, given the circumstances you're in, might be really bad. So when you're making your dice pool up and you're working out how many exhaustion dice do I want, how many madness dice do I want, would it be really bad if I fell asleep in this situation? How hard can I push it in terms of losing control? That thought process that you're going through and building your dice pool is the same thought process your character's going through when they're deciding how hard to push themselves or how much they're willing to risk losing control because succeeding is just too damn important. So that's why I love this game, and that's why I find it surprising, because the same decisions you're making as a player about how to compile your dice pool are the same decisions you're making as a character about how hard to push yourself physically and mentally to achieve the thing you need to achieve. So that's it. That's why it's surprising, and that's why I love it. So I've been Becky Annison. Thank you so much for dialing in or tuning in. Come and visit us at Black Armada Games. Later on this year, we are going to be running a Kickstarter for our game Lovecraft-esque, which I am super excited about. It is a diceless story game using the narrative techniques of H.P. Lovecraft rather than his bestiary. So it's teaching you to create a game using the rhythm of his stories. And that's it. Thank you very much, Dave. Thanks, RPG a Day. Goodbye.
Thanks, Becky. I suppose I'd better answer the question as well. Most surprising game? Leverage. Or as it should be, Leverage. Really liked the TV series. It's a game system that was taken and adapted a little bit more for Marvel, the most recent Marvel heroic role-playing. And it really kind of threw things out for me. It was that, well, there's no massive equipment lists and there's no skill lists. It's really turning it into a very story-driven and very intuitive and very adaptable game system. I'm just reading it and going, okay, I'm not sure if I completely understand this, because my ancient and firmly fixed in its way brain just can't quite comprehend how this works. And the more I read of it, the more I just thought, wow, why has this not happened before? And it kind of all, it did. It just surprised me, blew me away, and wow, changed the way I was thinking, which is not a bad thing. Free your mind, Neo. So what's the most surprising game that you've played? Is it actually the game itself, or just the direction that the game you were playing went in? Maybe you were playing D&D and all of a sudden something happened in it that just kind of went off in a direction that you weren't expecting and just surprised you completely. Good opportunity for you to tell us. Hit the social medias and don't forget to tag everything RPGaDAY2015, and then we're all on the same page. If you want to know what the rest of the topics are for the rest of the month, don't forget you can download the image as designed by the awesome Will Brooks, and the link is in the text underneath the video. Until tomorrow, stay multi-classy.